Hello, hello, Facebook. Here we are. We're here for day 3 of the Take Action Challenge. I'm going to go ahead and share this into the group, the Take Action Challenge group, where we're giving away prizes. And then you let me know when you can see me and hear me. But I'm going to get started because I always want to make sure that the replay has really good quality for those of you who are tuning in for the replay. And if you are here for the replay, hi, welcome. Make sure you comment hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here. Today we're talking about massive action plan. So we are going to dive right in. So those of you who are just tuning in for this is your first day, you just tuned in, you just found out about the challenge, you're joining me live. Hello, my name's Cami. Cheers. I am a life and business coach. I know something that was so interesting recently. I want to talk about this because I think a lot of people are confused on the difference between a life coach and a business coach. And I saw somebody post online recently that said, you need to decide, do you want a life coach or do you want a business coach? You have to choose one. And I said, no, absolutely not. You do not need to choose one. I'm a manifesting generator in human design, which means I have a lot of skills and a lot of abilities, which means I'm a life coach. So I can coach you on your entire life, your relationship, your mindset, your physical health, your body, your money mindset, anything that's going on in life, any goal that you have, I can coach you on it. Then the other thing that I coach you on is business strategy. I've been in business for over 10 years. I've built a 6-figure business. I've had multiple businesses. So don't let anybody tell you you can only choose one. Don't let anybody tell you you can only have one or the other. What I always like to do is work with a coach who has a lot of knowledge so they can help me on everything. I'm working with a relationship coach right now, but she coaches me on my business. She also coaches me on my money. I always want to work with a general life coach who has a strong, solid foundation in business. That is how I choose my coaches. That is how I work with them. Because listen, I don't know about you, but like I like the value pack. I want the thing. I want all of it. I want all the extra. I want all the bonuses. So there are definitely times where you just focus on one thing and you hire a coach for one thing, but I'm a fan of hiring a coach that can help you with all the things. It's the most valuable process because you can bring anything that you want to the call, you can bring anything you want to the coaching. So that's how I'm going to frame today's session. And I see there are some people tuning in live with me here. So make sure that you comment. Let me know that you're here because I have done it multiple times where I went live and the audio wasn't good or you couldn't hear me. And I literally taught like a live meditation for 25 minutes once and nobody could hear me. So I want to make sure we avoid that. So I'm just going to pull up my tablet and see who is here and make sure that I can actually see myself when I open up Facebook. We're just going to do this check quickly here. All right. Because I've got 3 devices. I'm like learning how to be a device person. My husband the other day says, you need to be more efficient. Okay, good. You can see me. Perfect. And I'm going to comment on my own to make sure the comments are coming through. My husband says, you need to be more efficient. I'm like, listen, I'm doing my best. I'm an elder millennial, so this technology stuff is new for me. So let's dive in. Today is day 3 of the Take Action Challenge. Today we're talking about taking massive action. I'm going to walk you through your massive action plan, but I also want to revisit the whole purpose of this challenge. The entire purpose of this challenge is for you to take action. So if you're just passively watching, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is great information. Wow, this is really motivational. Wow, good job, Cami. That is not what I want you to do. I want this energy to ignite you into taking an action, a scary one, something that changes the course of your life and future forever. Because here's the thing, you can watch YouTube videos all day long, you can listen to audiobooks, you can listen to motivational speakers, but until your life changes, until you actually start getting results, until you actually see something come from all of the stuff that you're listening to, you have not taken in the wisdom of the coaching. So I don't want you to just feel good. I want you to be able to take action today. And if you're watching these replays and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm either watching these in replay or I'm not in the same timeline, I want you to set aside 3 to 5 days to do this process. Do it for yourself. You can always come into the Facebook group and tag me and let me know what your process is and what you're going through. Because really, at the end of the day, you have to change the way you think, you have to change the way you feel in order to take different actions in order to get different results. And whether I am your paid coach or just a coach that you found on the internet and you enroll in my free stuff, I want you to celebrate your wins. I want you to engage, and I want you to be taking action during this challenge. So, we had a couple of people. We're just going to recap day 1 and day 2. So we talked about on day 1 and day 2, getting clear on your why. Then we really evaluated, how did I get here? Where am I? Then we went into, okay, we need to actually set aside tracking, right? We actually need to start tracking things, because if we're not tracking, if we're not measuring, then how are we going to make more money? Some of us don't even know how much money is in our bank account, how many clients it would take to reach our goals. If you have a health goal and you're not tracking your steps or your protein or your calories, whatever you choose, it's just going to be very difficult to reach the goal. So we want to start tracking. We want to celebrate every ounce of progress that we have. And then we want to tap into creating daily practices that are going to help us shift our state, focus on the goal, right? Your morning routine, your intentional thought creation, your journaling, whatever it is, you need to start shifting your beliefs in order to take action. And then today, I'm going to walk you through creating the massive action plan. This is something that Tony Robbins teaches. So I'm going to teach it to you with my own spin on it. And then I also want to announce that I'm adding a bonus coaching call tomorrow. This bonus coaching call this is only supposed to be 3 days, but I decided to add a bonus coaching call where we will all be on Zoom together. So I want you to come prepared to that call, bring your massive action plan, bring whatever you need for coaching so that we can coach on it, so that you can actually take action and get results in the next 30 days. Okay. All right. So let's dive in to today. Today, we're talking about massive action plan, and I have 2 thoughts. So when I'm coaching clients, there's usually 2 types of clients I work with. The first type of client is perfectionist, okay? And if you're a perfectionist, you tend to fall into all or nothing thinking, right? I'm either going to go all in and I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to do it perfectly, or I'm not going to do it at all. So the reason I'm bringing this up for you today is Tony Robbins' massive action plan. I like it conceptually. And also, if it's triggering to you, if you're finding yourself getting stuck in perfectionism, I want you to throw it out the window. And I would rather you go with the 1% shift rule. So the 1% shift is what I teach my clients, which is baby steps. You take 1% each day, you do a little more each day, you break it down into tiny habits, you celebrate those habits, and you create consistency over time. So for some of you, the massive action plan is really going to motivate you and inspire you, and you're going to dive in and you need somebody to challenge you to go all in massively. And then for some of you, the massive action plan will shut you down. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's too much. I can't do it. I'm so afraid. So if that's you, you're going to do the modified version. Okay. So I'm teaching you 2 things at the same time, just knowing that it's not one size fits all. All of these things are strategies. And if the strategy works for you, use it. If you're finding that you're getting stuck, then use the 1% shift. Okay. That's what I'm going to give you permission to do today. But the reason why I love the way Tony Robbins teaches this is because he talks about, number 1, he says, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something towards its attainment. Okay. And this is actually really important. This is where the massive action part goes. And this is like, let's say you always wanted to apply to go back to school. And you're like, oh, I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. But it's been 5 years. It's been 6 years. It's been 8 years. Now your kids are grown. Notice how the longer you wait, the longer you delay, the less likely it is that you're actually going to take the action. So what I want to know is, what is it that is the action that's going to change your life? So if you have a health goal, you go and you join the gym. That would be the massive action. You book in with a personal trainer. You buy a personal training package that will force you to show up. That would be the massive action. That would be the scary thing that you don't really want to do, but you know will get you massive results. So when I walk you through this process, I want you to be thinking of it in that way of what's the scary thing that I really know would help move me forward. And it feels scary, so I don't want to do it. And we can talk about that today, and then we can coach on it together on Zoom tomorrow if you need more support with it. Okay. All right. So, working down this plan, I want you to think about, remember, you're only taking this back to one area of your life today. Now, unless you've got two areas that you're working on, and I do find often that certain areas will impact each other. So let's say we've been talking about health and we've been talking about business this week. So let's just correlate how both of these integrate with one another. Okay. So if you're thinking about, okay, I want to create more money in my business, and you also know that you don't feel healthy in your body, you could tie these two goals together. Because of course, if you get up and you do a morning walk and you listen to your morning affirmations and you feel like you're in an abundance mindset, that is going to allow you to take more massive action in your business. So you can tie both of these goals together. If that's the only way I want you to do this is if you're picking two goals or two areas of life, you want to see directly how they tie in together. And I'm going to give you a personal story from 2012. So I'll just tell you my history. So I have a degree in molecular cell biology. I thought that I was going to go to veterinary school. I always wanted to be a veterinarian since I was 3 years old. That's what I wanted to do. And so I went and got a degree in biology. And then I started working at a veterinary hospital. I didn't like it. I was like, oh, the animals hate me. This isn't like lovey dovey. It's kind of traumatic. It was very emotional. And I realized, okay, my dream that I've had for 23 years is no longer like now I don't know what to do. So I felt really lost. So I found myself graduating college, working at a gym, a fitness center, because I always loved working out. I was always an athlete. I got into bodybuilding at a young age. And the only job I could get coming out of college with a biology degree was working in a laboratory. And it was so freaking miserable. So I was working in a laboratory on night shift, pathology laboratory. So I was cutting, literally, if you don't know what pathology is, if you've ever gotten a mole removed, if you've ever had liposuction, if you've ever had anything removed from your body, I was the person who cut it up. Like I got it in the formaldehyde bag and I took a scalpel and I cut it up and I sent it off to the pathologist to get tested. So this is what I did for about 2 years. And I was miserable because I was working night shift. It wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't engaging. It wasn't challenging. It was cool for a little while. For about 3 months, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I love seeing all these weird body parts. I one time got like a human toe, and also I got a whole human foot once that I got to cut up. But I knew that wasn't my path. Like, what was I going to do? I was just going to work in a laboratory for the rest of my life. So I realized at that point, I knew I was good at sales. I was like, okay, I'm either I want to go into outside sales with this laboratory. So I had this goal, I had this trajectory. But then I also was really into health and fitness, and I really like loved the fitness industry. And so I had these two competing goals at the time. And I remember I decided I wanted to become a fitness model. I wanted to become one of those booth girls that was like wearing the tank top and selling the protein shakes and like at the booth, like being a promotional model, right? Like that's essentially what that is. And at the time I was living in San Diego and I had a friend who was a photographer. So I essentially just said, "Hey, let's do a photo shoot." She did a free photo shoot for me. And I had another friend who was a model. She was a paid model. And she told me that models have this thing called a comp card. And it's basically like your images, your name. And it basically says, like, here's my images. Here's what I look like. I'm a model. So essentially, what I did is I got a photo shoot. I got it all designed and developed. So I made myself a comp card. And then I drove up to LA. I was in San Diego. I drove up to LA like 2 hours. There's this event called the LA Fitness Expo. And I took my comp cards around to the hundreds of people at that event. And I said, "Hey, I'm a fitness model. I want to be a promotional girl. I have a sales background. I have a biology background." And I just went and pitched myself to probably about 20 to 30 booths. And what happened as a result of me doing that, of me deciding, of me taking massive action, of me driving up there, telling the world that I was a fitness model just because I had a piece of paper that says I was, what happened as a result of that is one of the managers from a sports nutrition company saw me and reached out to me and said, "Hey, I liked you. I liked you. Like, I'm always looking for people." She hired me on for like a weekend event. Once she found out I was really smart and I was really good at talking to people, she then went and pitched me to the CEO of the company, and I got a job as an outside sales rep for the fitness industry. From working in a laboratory, hating my life, to deciding I wanted to do something, taking massive action, and completely changing the trajectory of my life for the next 10 years. So I want you to be thinking of it like that, on doing something that's going to massively change your life. Not just pretending, not just journaling about it, not just meditating on it. All of that is amazing. I teach my clients to do that. But you also have to take the action if you want to change your life. So I want to hear from you. What would change your life in terms of health, in terms of your relationship, in terms of your business, in terms of your finances, right? So think about what would actually change and start asking yourself, what do I want to do, but I'm afraid of doing? Okay. And we'll work through that today. So now we're going to talk about the actual plan, right? We're going to talk about taking 3 steps so you can start to overcome this fear of taking the action so you can actually get the results. So a massive action plan, as Tony Robbins defines it, is a specific strategy for getting what you want by taking consistent, massive steps, but also not waiting for clarity or for perfection. This is why we don't want to take a long time to do this, because the longer you wait, the more your brain is like, is that the right way to do it? I don't know. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And we get so stuck that we don't ever take the action. So Tony Robbins says the path to success is to take massive, determined action. And the reason this works, Mel Robbins also teaches this, the 5-second rule, right? If you don't want to do it, go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and do it. And the reason this works is because it gets you into action before your fear and your self-doubt and your overthinking sets in. It gets you out of that freeze mode when you're like, I don't know what to do, so I do nothing. So we want to engage with this process and think about, okay, what massive action could I be taking? What would change my life? And why would it be worth it, right? We're going back to day 1. It's worth it because of who you become during the process. And then it's worth it because you just might get an amazing miracle. You just might get something that you always wanted on the other side of it. Another example of my massive action is my office that I'm sitting in. I was manifesting an office outside of the house. This is my office outside of the house. And it was scary to make that investment. But now I'm literally living my dream. I have an outside office. I'm in a women's co-op. Everything is spiritually aligned. We have a red light therapy. We have a gym here. We have a salt room. I get to hang out with my friends, but we get to talk about business all the time. It's literally what I've always wanted. I get to do consulting for local businesses. I get to do life coaching for the women within this community. I'm living my actual dream, but I had to take the massive action of believing in myself and my ability to have an office in this space. Okay, I'm going to check the comments because I see Bree is here. I want to make 10K a month. I'm afraid of being on my own and fully depending on me. That's really good, Bree. Thank you for sharing this. So, Bree, this is how I want you to start thinking of your massive action plan. You got to do the math. What would it take for you to make 10K a month? And who would I need to become? So do you need to pitch a higher price package? Do you need to pitch it to a different demographic? Tell me what you think would get you to the 10K. Because part of this is we have to brainstorm. Like part of it, and this is the scary part. As an entrepreneur, especially, no one's going to tell you what to do. Other than me, I might recommend some things to you, but even I don't know everything to do in your business, right? So part of being an entrepreneur is making a list, kind of like coming up with, this is what I think I could do, then going to do it, and then evaluating the results that you get. So this is perfect because Bree already put this in the chat. Part 1 is what is a massive action plan? Part 2 is the actual components of it, right? So number 1, you need to know your outcome. You want to be very specific. So Bree says, I want to make 10K. If you have a health goal, You might pick a weight loss goal. You might say, I want to wear this size of pants, or I want to weigh this amount, or you might say, I want to run a 5K. It's very tangible, very specific. Or it's like, I want to run a 5K by such and such date. It needs to be clear and measurable. But the most important thing is you need to be emotionally connected to it, especially those of you who are doing something you haven't done before, like making 10K. Why do you want the 10K? Why is it important? How is that going to change your life? How is that going to change your future? So you need to actually imagine receiving 10K months. Imagine what that will feel like. And think about, okay, if that happened within the next 30 days, how would I feel? And we actually put together a plan to say, okay, my goal is to go after this in the next 30 days. If I don't reach 10K, I'm going to assess, evaluate, and then go after it again in the next 30 days. So instead of thinking, oh, I went after the goal of 10K and I failed, you want to think of it like I'm going after the goal of 10K every single month, and I'm going to try it 12 times. And every time I try it, I'm going to get closer and better. So maybe you get to 3K one month. Maybe you get to 5K one month. Then maybe you fall back and you're like down to 2K. And then you're like, oh, but how did I do that? The whole entire process of you going after the goal helps you see exactly how, what works. What do I need to do? How do I need to show up? How do I need to think? So I want you to be thinking about, I'm going to continue to go after this goal month after month for at least 6 months, ideally a year. And I'm going to assess what got me there, what worked, what didn't work. Okay, so number one, you want to know your outcome. Number two, this has to be a non-negotiable. You need to know why. You need to know, like this, and Tony Robbins always says, our standards are what sets up our life, right? If you have a standard of making $2,000 a month, that's what you're going to make. If you've decided your standard is 10K and you're always going to figure out a way and you're going to show up again and again until you get it, then it's a non-negotiable standard. That's just the way you run your business. You're just a person who makes 10K. And that is why, right? Like you want to be the person, if you have a health goal, you're just a person who works out 5 days a week. You don't even have to think about it anymore, right? So you need to know your why, and it needs to be non-negotiable for you. And this is us coming back to your original. Remember day one, we did 7 layers deep. Who is this going to impact? Who's it going to help? And I just had an aha today. I'll give you one of mine. So today I was at a meeting, a meeting in the city, and it was all about this new medical school coming into town. And they were talking about the capital, the money, the finances that it takes to create a medical school literally from the ground up. And I want you to guess, how much does it take, do you think? How much money does it take to build a medical school from the ground up? And I'll tell you, because it blew my mind. $130 million to build this medical school. They're bringing a new medical school to North Carolina. And so as I was sitting there listening to this story, it wasn't the money that blew my mind. It was the way that they're able to do this is by having donors. By having donors. And I think somebody gave 8 million. And I was just thinking about how I want to be the person who blesses somebody. I want to be the person who has so much money that I'm able to bless communities for the future forever. Like I understand it. I guess it's now that I'm 40, I understand like, oh, we're all going to die soon. I think like in my 20s and 30s, I was like, oh, I'm going to live forever. But like now that I'm in midlife, I realize, oh, this is why people want to like build their money and their impact and they want to leave a legacy. And this is why you see those plaques in the universities, like this room, this hall, this bench was contributed to, donated by, and it'll say like the Smith family. That is what I'm realizing now is my legacy. My passion is to rescue animals, to save animals. And I've seen so many amazing animal sanctuaries. I want to be able to fully fund an animal sanctuary. I want to be able to say every year, see, this makes me cry. Every year I help to save 200 dogs. Like I want to be able to have animals, a sanctuary. I want to be able to have that impact in the future that like for years it's running on the money that I was able to give to them. Right? Because for me, animals didn't choose to be here. We like domesticated them, we keep breeding them, and then we keep breeding them and they keep dying. Like, I want to change that. So for me, I'm like, when I think of money, think of the immediate impact. Yeah, I'd like a nicer house. I'd like to get my hair done. I'd like to be able to travel places with my family. But I think about the lasting long term legacy of making that money and being a person who's like, yeah, I know how to make multiple millions of dollars. Like, I'll tell you another story. This is going to go in my second book. So, in my very first job, like quote unquote real job, that one that I was a sales rep, I came in hot and hungry and like, I can do this. And I wanted to go sell to these big accounts. And I just remember the sales manager and like the leadership at that company basically like treating me like a little girl, like patting me on the head, like, no, 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 you need more experience. Like, you're just not ready. You're just, blah, blah, blah. And I still remember looking at their financials and they made 3 million at the time. So for me, I want to get my company to 3 million to be like, listen, I told you I could do this. I knew I was hot shit at 25 years old and I know what I'm doing and I'm amazing. Like, I just want to have that as a benchmark because of how many men in that industry and in my life have put me down. I'm like, no, I'm coming for 3 million because if a man can do it, so can I. Like, that is literally what keeps me going, is like, and I'll have so much impact once I make that revenue. But like, those are the things I want you to think of, is like, sometimes our why is like, watch me, like, just watch me because I can do it. I want to do it. I will do it. Okay. All right. So Bree says the action to take is to offer 8 times weekly, revamp what I'm offering and the value it brings. Yes. And for you, Bree, there's also probably a belief. And this is for everybody, right? Like, there's something about the pricing, there's something about believing it. And for you, you've just got to start offering it, even if you don't fully believe it. So whatever you need to do, put it into ChatGPT, put it on a flyer, and then you just got to go out and start offering it. This is one of the lessons I've learned in my business, and I'll tell you more about that later. Okay. All right. So we're part number 2, know your outcome, know your why, right? Like, why is this a non-negotiable? It has to be a non-negotiable for you. And if you're going after a new goal, it should feel challenging and uncomfortable. If it's not challenging and uncomfortable, you're not doing enough. You're not taking enough massive action. Okay. Now, when you write down your action, so since Bree's on here, I'm going to continue to coach her on this. You have to take the massive action, like actually do the hard thing, but not just any action, right? So for example, let's say you want to launch a new program. The action is not to, oh, let me go in Canva and make a flyer. It's not the action. It has to be intentional, high energy, and bold. The action would be telling someone, hey, I have this offer. Hey, I'm doing a workshop. Hey, I'm going to tell the Chamber of Commerce about this. Hey, I'm going to go live and I'm going to tell everybody about my offer and why it's so amazing. It has to be intentional, high energy, bold. And the way to think about this is most likely it's going to be done in front of other people, right? Like, if it's your health and fitness goals, you probably are going to need to get a personal trainer and you're going to need to show up to that personal training, or you're going to need to go to some group fitness classes, or you're going to need to reach out to a nutritionist and start talking to them about it. If you're doing something in business, all business requires human to human interaction. And most of us like to hide behind screens. We like to hide behind Canva and ChatGPT and pretend like we're doing something without actually taking the action that could put us at risk of failure, at risk of rejection. And I'm telling you, this is the only way. And some people too, even with health and fitness, I heard somebody say to me that they were on a weight loss journey again. And they said, I'm so afraid of failing again. And I want to bring it back to, why would you ever say that? Why would you ever think that? If you're working on your weight loss again, why not tell yourself, I'm so proud of myself for learning and growing and continuing to work on this goal and taking a new massive action. And I know that one day this will be permanent. Of course, I'm going to find the solution to this. I don't need to be afraid of failing because I will find my solution. I will do whatever it takes. So yes, you might fail at the diet. You might realize that wasn't the right thing for you, but you're going to keep going no matter what. The only way to truly fail is to quit, to give up, to be like, I guess that's not for me. So remember, this is not going to be convenient action. It's not going to be warm and fuzzy action. It's going to be, I feel like throwing up. There's a lump in my throat. My knees are shaking. I need to take some deep breaths. I have sweaty palms, and I'm taking this effective action that's going to get a result. And it probably has to do with pitching, being in front of another person, reaching out to someone, saying the thing. Like, it's going to involve some type of interaction with the human that's going to help, that's going to have you feeling uncomfortable. So here's what I want you to type in the chat or write it down. Think of 3 actions you could take today that would move the needle the most. Not the easiest ones, not the safest ones. And for some of you, you've been dragging your feet on hiring a coach. And I'm a coach. I'm right here in front of you. The action might be to finally book a free consult call. That could be one of them. Another action could be to finally reach out to someone for funding, finally reach out to someone for a partnership. Again, it should not feel comfortable. So list out 3 actions that you could take today. Yesterday, we talked about like little actions. Today, we're talking about massive actions. Okay. Now, part 3. Now you're going to anticipate the obstacles. You're going to anticipate and eliminate the obstacles. So think about this. What stories, what fears, and what habits might block you? Okay. You probably know, like I'll tell you, if you're selling something, the fears are usually rejection, right? So it's like, I'm afraid people won't buy it. They won't like me. They'll say it's too expensive. It won't work. I won't make any money. It's not going to work for me. I'm going to fail again. But you have to remember, this is what Tony Robbins says, there's no failure, only feedback. There's no failure, there's only feedback. So of course, you're going to have some emotions that come up, and your path to success is your ability to feel uncomfortable emotions, period. Because in order to take massive action consistently all the time, you will need to be able to feel fear in your body and do it anyway. So some of the tools that help is doing breath work. I teach breath work. I'm going to do a bonus breath work session for this challenge as well. EFT tapping. If you've never done EFT tapping, it's called Emotional Freedom Technique. And it's essentially tapping. Even though I'm really scared to take this action, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. You just go through the tapping points. This is something I teach my clients. You could also find it online. So maybe you want to do some EFT tapping. Another thing that can help is having an accountability partner. I recently started meeting with my accountability partner. I have a coach. I have a one-on-one coach. I have a business coach. I also have an accountability partner. So I set myself up for success. I have a friend, fellow colleague, business bestie. We meet every week and we hold each other accountable and we challenge each other. And then the third thing is shifting your environment. You need to get around people who are doing big things. You need to shift the people that you're around. Because remember, you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around, whether it's your family, your friends, your colleagues. If they don't have an abundance mindset, if they're not doing things that scare them, then they're going to think you're absolutely crazy and they're not going to encourage you. So you need to have an environmental shift where the people around you are supporting you and you are supporting yourself. And maybe you also have a coach to support you. But you need to get really honest with yourself. What are the stories, fears, and habits that might block you? And then how am I going to overcome these? How am I going to reset these? Okay. All right. Then after you take the action, we talked about this. You've got to evaluate. You have to figure out, okay, I'm going to measure this. I'm going to adjust. Then I'm going to repeat it. So number 1, how are you going to track your progress? If your goal is to make 10K and you think, okay, I need to change my package. Now you got to say, okay, where am I going to offer this? How many people do I need to talk to? And I'm not going to do the math here, but let's just pretend. Let's see, I have my calculator. I'm just going to pretend. Let's say your offer is $1,000 and you need to sell 10 of them, right? And typically, if we're pitching, right, if we're having a conversation in front of people in a room, typically about 1% of the people in the room will book a consult with you. So if you're in the room with 100 people, right, 1% of them is 1. So that one person will book a consult with you, and then they have probably a 50-50 chance of actually signing up with you. So when you think of it this way, you're like, oh, I need to get in front of 1,000 people with my message. I need to pitch 1,000 people in order to get 10 people. But you've got to be tracking this. Then you got to consider, okay, how often am I going to check in? What I see when I work with my one-on-one clients, I work with them every week. We meet every single week because you need to be doing something every day, every week, and every month in order to create the results that you want. This is why New Year's resolutions don't work, because people set a goal at the beginning of the year. They just kind of like set an intention and then they just kind of disappear. And then they're like shocked and surprised that they didn't reach their goal in December. It's like, no, of course you didn't. Because did you focus on it every week? Did you have accountability? Did you track it? Did you check in? Did you evaluate what wasn't working? No. And listen, there's no shame on this. This is what coaching is for, because human brains, we don't want to do this on our own. It takes energy, right? But it takes more energy for you to continue to be where you don't want to be than it does to go after your goals and dreams. For me, if I'm going after a goal and I'm going after a dream, even if I'm failing the whole way through and falling down the whole way through, I feel so much better than if I'm like wallowing in my sorrows and just like, well, I guess it's just not for me. Oh, I guess I just can't have my dream. I'm like, no, I'm going to figure out a way to have my dream. I'm willing to fall down 100 times to figure it out, to evaluate, to keep going. And I'm willing to do this for the next 10 years. I'm willing to take 10 years to make $3 million. I don't think it'll take that long, but I am willing to put in 10 years of blood, sweat, tears, evaluation, showing up, doing it again and again, because I love the process. I love it. I feel like that's the purpose of life. I'm climbing the mountain. It's really challenging. It's really hard. And I feel alive and my lungs are burning and my legs are burning. But then I get to the top of the mountain, I get to see the sunrise. And it's so beautiful and I feel so alive. I feel like I'm getting everything that I came for out of life just because I'm enjoying the process. So remember, your massive action plan is going to be dynamic. It's not static. All of this is an experiment. You've got to hypothesize, then you got to take the action and assess it, and then you continue to adjust your plan as you gain clarity. I'm going to check the comments again. Okay. Bree says, go live and share about the offer. Yes. Post about my offer. Yep. Launch my lead magnet and ebook. Yes. I would consider, Bree, and I'm really glad you brought this up. If your goal is to make 10K today, sooner rather than later, I would go all in on sharing the offer 30 days straight. I'm sharing it. I'm pitching it. That's all I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it in my sleep. I'm talking about it when I wake up. I'm talking about it to strangers. I'm thinking of all the ways that I can get people on board and sell it with what I have now, with myself, with my community. My goal is to get in front of 1,000 people, maybe 2,000 people in person, online, over and over again every day. Wait for the lead magnet and the ebook. And here's why I'm saying this. This is a 30-day massive action plan. And remember what I said earlier, we love hiding. And I know it feels like a lead magnet and an ebook is going to sell me something, but it's really not. Not right now. The thing that's going to sell you something right now is getting out in front of people, offering them value, giving them a reason to say, hey, look at me, getting extremely visible, right? Getting really uncomfortable. Like everybody in this town should know what you offer. Everybody in every chamber should know what you offer. Every business that's semi-associated with your business should know about what you offer. And wait for the lead magnet and ebook. You can put that down the line, but I don't think that counts as massive action. That's more of a strategic opportunity to grow your email list. But that's not what's going to make you your 10K right now. And I say this to say, my coach who makes $10 million, who I love and respect and adore, I'm like, why would I ever argue with a millionaire? This is her concept, which is you got to get out there and sell the thing. Her entire business, she made 150K in her first year of business without an email list, without a website, without an ebook, without a lead magnet. So don't jump ahead to things that you're not ready for yet, just because it feels like shiny object. That's what I'm going to say for Bree and anybody else too, right? Same thing with fitness goals. If you have a fitness goal, you go and you join the gym. You don't research the type of gym to go to. You go join the gym. You go and you book yourself in and you show up for the fitness class. You go and you book in and you get in with a nutritionist, right? That is the massive action. Not researching, not thinking about it, not thinking about how to do it. So I'm giving you tough love today because this is what it's going to take to do something new and different. Because your current results, whether it's in your body, your business, or your relationships, your current results are based on your current thinking. So you have to think differently and you have to stay focused on the massive action that's going to get you the results. Okay. So here's what I want you to do for today. So I want to know your massive action plan in the Facebook group, or you can just tag me. Like, let's say you're out in the streets, or you do a Facebook Live, or you do an Instagram Live and you want to tag me. Tag me that you're taking part of the Take Action Challenge. You're taking action. You're launching the thing. You're booking the consult. You're going to the gym, whatever it is. Tag me in it. And if you want to do the homework is going to come in your email so you can actually do the entire worksheet, right? We walked through these 3 parts. The parts were, right? Starting off with know your outcome. What exactly do you want? Then you got to make it non-negotiable. Then you got to take your massive action, right? It needs to be intentional, high energy, bold steps. Then you've got to eliminate your obstacles, anticipate them, and set yourself up for success by using tools like breathwork, EFT, accountability, hiring a coach. You got to shift your environment, right? Getting in front of people that are going to believe in you, propel you forward. And then you're going to evaluate. After you take the action, you're going to evaluate. So I want to see your massive action plan. I'll give you coaching in the Facebook group. And reminder, I added a bonus coaching call tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be on Zoom. So the beauty of this is we get to be face to face. You can pull up your massive action plan. This is what I'm going to do. And then I will coach you on the massive action plan. Typically, the things that are going to get in the way are your thoughts and feelings. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I need to figure it out more. I don't know if this is the right offer. I need to get my messaging down. These are all the questions that keep us stuck. And especially if you're in business, you just have to go out and try it. You just have to go out and try the dang thing. That's the only thing that's going to work for you. Okay. So share your massive action plan in the Facebook group. Tomorrow, we're going to be meeting April 18th, Friday at 1 p.m. on Zoom. The Zoom link right now is in your email. It's already been sent out to your email. And today, your giveaway is a free breathwork session. So I teach online virtual breathwork and I also teach in person. And those of you who take part in today's challenge and you actually tag me, remember, if you post in the Facebook group, you get 5 points. If you post externally of the Facebook group, you will get 10 points. And the people with the most points, I will announce those winners coming up on April 20th. So you have until April 20th to get all of this homework done. If you're coming in late, if you're watching all the replays in order, just do them all, post them all, tag me in all of them. I'm keeping track of your points. You just have to make sure that you tag me on your public profile. Because if you're not public, I will not be able to see you. Okay, so that's what we have. We have a breathwork session. We do it virtually. You get to pick your music. We get to break through together. The type of breathwork I teach is called Revelation Breathwork, and it allows you to fully let go of that fear and anxiety, that unworthiness, that not feeling good enough, the scarcity mindset. We want to use that as an energetic tool to help you break through. So whoever posts their massive action plan today, you will get a private breathwork session. And then here's the amazing thing. I have another announcement for you today. Okay, I'm going to go into announcement. I'm going to answer Bree's question, then I'm going to go into my announcement. So Bree says, how do I determine where to find those people that I would like to work with? Bree, this is a great idea. So we're going to start with identity on this. Bree, if you were already making 10K, how would you feel about yourself? What would you think about yourself? Tell me that first. Because what I know, like I think of myself as a $3 million earner. And when I think of myself that way, I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. So I want you to think about, I know where to find these people. And if you consider all the people could potentially use your services, but they're probably homeowners, right? Like they probably have a certain income demographic. They probably have certain hobbies, right? Like you probably know what type of person they are. Like, do they shop at Sprouts? Do they shop at Target? Do they like to go to Outback Steakhouse, right? I'm just making this up. when you start to think about like, who are the demographics of people? Where could I find them? Where could I go? Then you start to think of what are other businesses that are similar to mine that I could potentially partner with. So, for example, Bree's a personal organizer, right? So I would think of like, oh, maybe there is a small business that works on cleaning homes or real estate, right? Like any of those adjacent partners that would be like, oh, someone's moving into a new home. Oh, they're definitely going to need help organizing. And I don't know exactly what your package is, but part of your massive action plan is just deciding this is where I think I'd find these people. I'm going to go try it. This is where I think I'd find these people. I'm going to go try it because your brain won't know until you make it work. And the way you make it work is you say, well, what if I did know? You're right. You'd feel proud and confident, right? If you were already making 10K, you'd feel proud and confident and you would know how to figure it out. So part of this is making your brain figure it out and then just taking the action because there is no such thing as perfection. And there's not even anybody out here that could give you the answer. You've got to be so creative when it comes to sales and marketing. And you are creative because you're confident, right? I'm confident I can figure this out. So I think for you, you should post your list of like, here's who I think I should partner with. Here's the ways I think I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to go down the list and check one thing off the list every single day. And then what's the accountability? How do you want to hold yourself accountable for this, right? And this is where I'm coming into my special announcement. So I wanted to, every time that I teach, right? If I'm teaching you something, I'm always doing what I teach. Like I never want to be somebody who's like telling you and then I'm secretly like hiding in the background. I'm not following through. I'm not doing the things. I knew that I was going to take massive action this week right along with you. So here's what I have for you. I have a special offer. It is called Abundant Business Mini Mastermind. It is an 8-week mastermind. You get to work with me together in a small group. And the reason I did this is because so last year I launched a few groups. I launched 2 groups. I took a long time to launch them. I really wanted to get it right. I really like wanted to get so many people in there and I wanted it to be 6 months and I was trying to get it perfect, right? All the things that our perfectionists do. And I remember my coach coaching me on it because when I first launched it, I didn't get as many people as I want. Like it wasn't as successful as I thought. I had a lot of feelings about it. And I remember like coming to my coach with this and she's like, listen, you just need to get up again and launch it again. And this year I was thinking, oh, I'm going to wait. Like I'm going to wait. Like it's not convenient right now. Like I was having all the drama that your brain also has. And then I just decided, you know what? This is a perfect time. I could help all of these people that are taking part in this challenge. We could work together for 8 weeks, keep this momentum going. Whatever goal you set in place for your massive action plan, we can complete it within the next 8 weeks. We can do it together. It'll be easy. It'll be fun. We'll get together on Zoom. I will teach everything that I know how to teach you to make you successful. And I will stop you from wasting time on the things that don't make any sense. So now I'm going to present to you the Abundant Business Mastermind. I'm actually going to share my screen with you and show you. Make sure that it's up on the correct screen first. Man, I'm so smart. I'm so smart and savvy with technology. Sometimes this is what I say. So Abundant Business Mastermind starts in May. Starts in May and applications are officially open today. You have a link right now in your email to apply. Super easy to apply, but I want to talk to you about who this is for because that is going to be important as we move forward. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's try this again. There it is. All right. So the Abundant Business Mastermind. This is for any women who want to combine magic and marketing, right? So you actually want to learn how to sell with soul. Like instead of feeling awkward and feeling forced, like you're feeling like you have to be a different person, I want you to actually learn how to get paid to be yourself. I'm also going to teach you how to market consistently in a way that feels aligned, not exhausting. This is also for women who you want to feel confident. You're like, okay, I want to feel confident in my message. I want to be able to go out there and offer the thing. And I want to feel like what I offer is valuable. I want to really tap into valuing myself. And best part, you also want to make consistent income with a strategy that works for you, right? So like I say, this is not a one size fits all strategy. We're going to work together within this community, within this group, to where you're going to get strategy that's aligned for you. I also have all of my containers where strategy meets with spirituality. So I'm an intuitive. I do a lot of manifesting work. I do a lot of energy work, energy healing. I set up altars. I do a lot of prayer, meditation. And I think that is what makes a balanced business owner. And when we do it this way, your sales and your clients will start coming in naturally. You will start feeling like, of course, because I'm magnetic. I get paid for being me, and my dream clients keep coming to me. So by the end of 8 weeks, you're going to be really clear on your message, right? A lot of you are getting confused in your messaging. Who am I talking to? What do I say? We're going to get very confident and clear on your message specifically so that you're calling in your soulmate clients, right? Those clients that you love them, they love you, you have a great time together. You're also going to have a content and visibility strategy that fits for you. So some of you are going to be really great on video. Some of you are going to be better with writing. Some of you are going to be better with in-person networking. But the goal here is to commit to a visibility strategy that's going to work for you and your energy and your goals. I'm also going to teach you how to sell your offer with ease, with clarity, with confidence. And we're going to do that by practicing together. So you get to say the words, you get to practice it within the community. It's a mini mastermind, and mastermind always means there are women there supporting each other, kind of like having your own hype squad around you. You're also going to get a personalized social media plan. If you use social media, I'm going to teach you how to use it to build know, like, and trust. That's all you need to do. Know, like, and trust, and make sure you have enough offers going out and enough value going out to call clients in. For those of you who don't want to use social media, that's fine. We'll come up with an in-person networking component so you can go out there and network in person, because you do not need to have social media. I've helped my clients who do not have social media build a network and a referral network where they just have people referring business to them. And really, by the end of 8 weeks, it's this inner confidence to know I have a foundation, I have faith, I can flow in my business, I know what I'm doing, I know how to sell. And so we really want to allow you to take consistent, aligned action, no matter how you feel, no matter if you're on your period. We want to stop you from burning out and like doing all this busy work. And we want to stop you from being so confused and stuck in analysis paralysis. So by the end of 8 weeks, you're going to have all of this. And this is for you if you're ready to get through perfectionism, right? Like, let's just do it. Let's just go. Let's take massive action. If you're ready to trust yourself in your business, to know what to do and to know how to create results, to trust in your value, to create your vision, and to open up to the safety to be seen and get paid for being aligned with your purpose and your skills. And if you're ready to create consistent income in an aligned way and also add in intuition plus integrity, right? Really being aligned with who you are, what you offer, what's important to you, and strategy. I will help you with the actual business strategy. I will tell you, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, or I think this is a good idea, and here's why. But really, this is starting for you to own yourself as the CEO and make decisions for your business. So you are meant to build an abundant business, of course, but it starts with feeling abundant. It starts with not hiding, not doing the busy work, not second guessing, not waiting to feel ready, but it starts with you actually showing up right now with confidence, taking the action, moving forward to submit your application. So the link is already in your email. You can go apply right now. The application is only open until April 20th. So you have through this weekend to get it in. And here's the details of the investment. So we'll work together for 8 weeks. The investment is $1,000 or it's 2 payments of $625. You're going to get 8 group training calls. And I say training plus coaching. So what I've been doing over this challenge is very much training. I'm teaching, 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 teaching. Then on the back end, coaching, when we're on a Zoom call, is I say, okay, put your hand up, raise your hand, let me know what you need coaching on. And then you tell me, I'm having a problem with this. What do you think about this? And I coach you within the group to get the results. So you're going to get 8 group training calls plus the coaching that comes on the back end of the call. And here are the 8 weeks broken down for you. So we start with number 1, taking yourself seriously. You need to take yourself seriously as a CEO. Right? So for some of you, you're still asking me, what should you do? What should you do? I want to empower you to hypothesize what you should do. And if you're off track at all, I'll guide you. But I want you to start stepping into yourself as a business owner and a leader. And when you show up in a room, people notice you. When you show up and you give your pitch and you say, this is what I offer, people notice you. They feel your energy. They feel your confidence. You're magnetizing them. They're coming up to you. They're like, I want to talk to you. What do you do? And that is how we create more opportunities and when we take ourselves seriously. Even if you feel like you're going live to zero audience, even if you feel like no one in the room wants what you have to offer, if you show up in CEO energy, like what I have is valuable, you will have clients coming out of the woodwork to work with you. And then we have a spiritual practice. I'll always have a spiritual practice for everything. We need to tap into your money mindset and the future version of you, right? We need to tap into the six-figure version of you, the one who has 10K, and start developing that version of you so you can go out and take action from that place. Okay. Then we go on to week 2. Week 2, you connect with your clients deeply. This means that sales becomes easier. So we're developing the know, like, and trust, okay, through your conversations that you have with people and also through your content. And this is where you learn to nurture leads and build relationships. This is where we learn to build your belief in what you offer. And and this is where we have an EFT tapping practice. It's safe to be seen and heard because that's really important. Then we move into a whole entire social media made easy, right? You don't need a content calendar. You don't need to you do not need to be perfect about this. I promise you, I made 6 figures without a content calendar. There's very simple ways to do this. And I'm going to give you a social media audit. We'll work on this together. And there's going to be breath work here for you to break through like any type of blocks you have about being seen. So we're going to add on breath work as well. Week 4 is mastering your messaging, right? So who do you talk to? What do you talk to them about? What sets you apart? And the way that we do this is through conversations, because a lot of times you're stuck in your head. You don't know what your value is. When we start to have conversations within the mastermind, you start to see your value. And then I set you up into groups, breakout groups, where you start to share your value with one another. And our value is reflected when other people start to see it. We're also going to have a journaling practice with that as well. Then we go into week number 5, which is your organic marketing, right? Organic marketing means free and aligned. So whether it's going to be video or in person, we want to really create a sustainable visibility plan. So you're always visible. People know who you are. We'll tap into guided visualization so you can attract those ideal clients as well. Week number 6, this is your sales psychology. This is really important, right? We need to get on sales calls. We need to have sales conversations. We need to learn how to overcome objections, but with integrity and empathy. And then I teach my signature process called the panic to purpose process. When you're really scared about money, I teach you how to work through that so that you can go out and sign new clients. Week number 7, overcoming objections. We'll spend a lot of time on that. And we want to make sure that we take a spiritual practice before our consult calls or sales calls to really tap in. And I'll give you that as well. And then week 8, finally by week 8, you'll be 2 months in. We will recap. We will have expanded. We'll celebrate all those results. And we will make sure that we have a ceremony to close us out. So a ceremony to open and a ceremony to close. So remember, the applications are open right now. If you apply today being April 17th, if you get your application in today, you are also going to get a bonus one-on-one coaching call with me. So run to your email right now, get your application in. You get to choose your payment plan. You can do investment of $1,000 one-time payment or 2 payments of $625. Remember, I'm going to see you tomorrow on Zoom live. If you have any questions about the Abundant Business Mastermind, we will talk about that together. I'm going to hop off here because I have another client coming into the room. I will see everybody tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing your massive action plan. Bye.